That's what we're doing today. So it is Pick Central. My phone computer just randomly restarted like 30 seconds before the show. That's why Stefan is doing a great job here, and he is sitting in and he is fixing it for me. He won't be here the whole show, him or his very, very tight shorts. Hello, Kelly in Vegas is over there. Barstool new hire who really kind of pissed me off yesterday. Kelly, I don't know if you know this, but when a gambling person is hired at Barstool, they're expected to lose at least their first 3 or 4 picks.
Facts.
Let me to quote the great Bill Snyder,
Yes.
You have to expect to win.
I guess, this is the first time we've had Bill Snyder quoted on the show, unfortunately. But I went 0-3 my first night, and you went 1-0 your first night. You had the Bucks, right?
I did have the Bucks, and it was kind of crazy because I wasn't supposed to announce that we were coming to Barstool. My first tentative day was going to be August 2nd. We're just going to be on cruise control till football season.
Okay.
I'm sitting in this production meeting, and one of the merchandise girls is like, "Oh, we really need to pick for tonight's game." I go, "I like Bucks minus 4.5," and she goes, "Will you give that out?" And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, "Are we just doing this?" And it just happened.
Yeah, it's shit just kind of happens. So I got Marty Mush over here to the left. I got Big Ev to the left. Ben Mintz over there to the right. And then, of course, we're joined by Kelly in Vegas, who did announce her hire at Barstool yesterday. What was the thought process between just going ahead and getting it out, announcing it?
Fuck it. Let's just do it. This is what Barstool does, right?
Yeah.
You guys do nothing that is by the book.
That's true.
Oh, well, yeah.
We don't
Yes.
do.
No, can we clip that?
Yes.
You guys do nothing.
And I realized that the first 47 seconds I was here and walked through the door. So I was like, well, what would be more Barstool like than to just do it? Because I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in and out. I'm going to be back and forth to Vegas, whatever. And it's like, well, when else am I going to be out here?
I was going to ask that. Do you live in Vegas?
I do live in Vegas.
That is fun. That
Listen,
makes sense.
Vegas is a
You're in
terrible
Vegas.
place to live.
For sure.
It is really hard on your liver. It's really hard in your life. And then we got shut down, and I put up this stupid Instagram post that said, "I promise I will hang out with all of you when we finally reopen." And people are actually holding me to that. Mm-hmm. And so for like the last 6 months, I've been on this ridiculous bender in Vegas, going to awesome dinners and having a great time. But I'm like,
I don't feel that.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds awful.
bad for you.
3 days max.
I'm
Vegas
so
is
sorry.
It's a 3-day max town. 3 days. And then you got to get the hell out. I live there. It's really hard.
I've never been to Vegas, but I'm going August 19th through the 23rd for the first time in my life, so I don't know what to expect.
You're not a Vegas guy.
I'm not a Vegas guy at
Ooh,
all.
I can't wait to see people walk in Vegas.
I'm not a table games guy. I'm a casino guy.
How
I
are you
like to
not
go to
going during
sportsbook.
football season to sit in the sports book?
Well, I probably will go back. I would imagine.
Okay.
But I'm going for SummerSlam for WWE.
Oh, awesome. That'll be
But
freaking
yeah,
great.
we're going for that. But I get to go to Vegas for the first time. Marty always laughs when I mention a WWE thing.
Me and Big Ev are like,
Right. But yeah, I'm going for the first time, and I can't wait. But so you're going to be half Vegas, half New York, or you got a third city, or?
So I bought a retirement house in Florida because that's my big goal is to retire. So I'm gonna be bouncing around. Let's make a big triangle. And I was just talking with some of the Penn gaming guys, and I'm like, how do I get somebody to pay me to go to football games? And he goes, you got to talk to Portnoy. He goes, I think that's a great idea. So I'm a total college football junkie. I want to go to every big game. And so as soon as I want to go to Michigan, Ohio State, I want to go to LSU, Alabama, I want to go to Oklahoma, Texas, I want to go to, the largest cocktail party, all the fun games. And if somebody wants to pay me to do that, I'm there. So that's going to be my main push.
I'm trying to make sure that my kids' lunch money is stocked up for this August. You're buying retirement homes in Florida.
Sounds like she's advanced farther in the company than some of us already.
It took her like 5 minutes. No, we're definitely going to talk college football on this show too, because I love anybody that comes in and says I love college football. Big Ev's a big college football guy. Marty also is aware of the sport. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We'll randomly just bring up your story and everything that has happened. But let me ask a couple more questions before we get into the sports and Giannis and the Bucks and the championship last night. So you've been around in the gambling space for a long, long time. Right?
Are you aging me?
I'm not aging
Don't
you at
do
all.
that.
Not aging you at all. I'm saying you've got a lot of credibility. You've been around the space for a very long time. What I know,
you just did it again.
Barstool's into gambling. Barstool's huge in gambling. Penn. What brought the two entities together?
So it's kind of a crazy thing to me because as I've watched the evolution of what has happened where Vegas was the epicenter of sports betting.
Right.
And then boom, now all of a sudden it's New Jersey, right? And we're seeing other states hit the map. I kind of started to look at the bigger picture and like, what do we want to do here, right? So I've got some different companies that I do some work with that I own part of that I really hold near and dear to my heart. But when you're working with a major company and an absolute marketing machine like Barstool, it's a no-brainer.
She's so much better than us.
Yeah, no, we're so fucked.
She makes us look like fucking idiots.
I just gamble.
Yeah, that's all. I
mean, we can just talk about gambling.
No, I haven't thought about it. I don't even know what you just said.
He has a bed on his balcony.
Yeah,
it's not his.
Sick. Yeah. Got a bird.
Got a bird. You have a bird?
See, I need to know what kind of bird.
A fucking parrot or a cockatiel.
Double yellow Amazon.
Yeah,
you don't even have it anymore.
Yeah, he retired in Florida
He's
too.
in Florida waiting on you. That's going to be our gift in Florida when she gets to her retirement house is the bird.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, it's great to have you here. It's always great to have more gambling people, and it's going to be fantastic. College football, pro football this fall is going to be a fucking blast. It's going to be great. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. I know that I feel like I've said that 100 times in the last 24 hours, but this place is just walking in. It reminds me of college, like the first time I ever walked into a frat house. It's like, okay, great, this is going to be fun.
So
I don't know what you talking. What frat guys you talking about?
you bring up a point that's interesting. I don't know if you guys you were all here, right? Yesterday was fucking bananas.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
Yesterday we
Shout
had
out Tico.
Yesterday we had two world-class chess players walking around doing content holding up a stick camera, and they
with
were
like 10,000 people live with them.
And they're playing against Frank the Tank and PFT, and then Tico's entourage. There were about 6 of them. They set up shop here, and there was a lot of weed smoke.
I've never met. They just didn't. They were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna smoke this here. I don't care."
Yeah,
love that.
I mean, I was like, who's gonna tell him to put it out?
No, I didn't.
I'm not.
Not me.
Did you ask for any?
No, I didn't.
Didn't think it was
That's
your place.
rude. That's
No.
rude.
Is that rude?
Yeah.
I think if they're just freely.
If it was offered, you gotta. There's etiquette, Brandon. If it's offered, I would have
didn't
gladly
realize
accepted.
Are you up on your weed etiquette?
I'm not. Even though it's legalized in Nevada, weed is a drug that is very great if I want to go to sleep or if I want to be hungry. Other than that, I am the worst ever. Like, I have had friends be like, "Here, hit this," because they literally want me to shut up.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's not a terrible idea.
Makes sense.
It's not a bad idea.
Marty, me and you should have weed on hand at all times. Marty, hit this.
Speak for yourselves, boys.
So last night, we'll transition to talking a little sports gambling. The number 646-291-2437. I promise I'll get better. If you got questions for Kelly in Vegas, we'll certainly allow you to ask them later in the show. We'll take your picks. I'll make sure I do a better job of getting more calls here. It's been a little tough transitioning back into the call mode with so much going on in the world of sports. Yesterday, of course, we had Smitty here, and today we'll talk about speaking of Smitty.
He was just wrong about everything. Also,
who was Smitty?
Yesterday, he was.
Yesterday, I'm sure he was wrong, but. Clickbait Smith. I don't mean to mix Smitty and Clickbait Smith. Released a video yesterday after the Bucks won the championship. That was quite a video.
So I got, obviously Trisha said it because I said it, but like, she was completely wrong. Bad take. But I mean, we've all had some bad takes.
Trista does, I don't know if you're up on Barstool, Trista does This League, the NBA podcast, and she had a video right at the beginning of the finals saying the Bucks are the most overrated team to ever make the finals, and Suns in for.
They have a Giannis problem too.
And she also has
That's what they said.
She has enemies here at the company, and those enemies, Clickbait Smith. I wouldn't say Smitty's an enemy, but Clickbait Smith is.
Yeah.
So released a video last night just torching her.
So that's fair. Like, so I think we all have bad takes, but like. Smitty dunking on her, or Clickbait Smith's dunking on her, was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I've never seen like a.
That was so.
CBS is a menace.
He has so many problems. That guy.
By the way, in Walk the Line, we were talking and we were trying to get Jack to tell us who made the video. I know who made it.
Oh, I know who made it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And it's shocking, actually.
It is shocking. It is absolutely shocking.
I want to know off the air. I'm not asking.
Is anybody? TJ, do you know who made the video?
No, sorry, I was just coughing in the mic. I have a cold. Sorry, my bad.
Oh.
If you didn't hear,
a convenient cough, huh?
I asked you a question. TJ, do you know who made the video?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Who was it?
I can't say. CBS has
He's got a
non-contact agreement.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, all right. But I kind of agree with you.
CBS did. I had a weird ass number saying bad takes, not just one, all of them. CBS. Random number.
CBS. You have a texting relationship with CBS?
That's the first text I've ever gotten from a random number.
Okay, all right.
My thing was the song they used, the Billy Joel, "This is the Time to Remember," and I hadn't heard that song in 30 years since
You
the
and
NBA.
fucking Glenny Balls. Let's talk about the song.
No,
when
but
he's
the
just getting
NBA
dying.
I agree with it. What he's about to say. I agree with
No,
him.
there was this video. We were kids called the NBA Superstars that Brandon knows about. That was this huge thing where everybody, like Michael Jordan, had "Take My Breath Away," and Dr. J had "Whitney Houston," "Greatest Love of All," and "Time to Remember" was like the All Stars on it. And I literally hadn't heard that song since that video. And I asked Brandon about it, and he immediately knew. So just another old guy.
And the Larry Bird Small Town video from NBA
John
Superstar.
Mellencamp,
I randomly watched that now.
I used to watch that like hundreds of times when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was
You guys got to get out more.
What year is
Yeah,
this?
I was like,
this
eight.
is like 88
is like 30
to
years ago.
92. Yeah. This
And
is,
you remember those years?
I was
oh,
0.
very, very well.
Okay,
yeah.
see, then I'm not that old.
Wasn't even
Yeah,
a
well,
thought.
we're the old guys here.
No.
Well, you don't have to just shout it out from the
I
hilltops.
mean, we could tell you're not. You're fine. Stay old as fuck.
Well, okay, all right. All right, fine.
Hey, man, I had a childhood memory come up. Let me have my damn moment.
Let's have a little nostalgia on here.
Exactly.
Let us enjoy our lives once in a fucking while.
I had a childhood
Plus,
memory come
Me
up.
and Mintz were bonding for once. For once, we had the same
We both
memory.
had the under last night, too.
That was sharp as
Nice.
shit. That was sharp as
that
shit.
was a great line move. I joined you guys at a terrible number, which I do not condone ever betting bad numbers, just in case everybody wanted to know. But I had to hop on just because.
Don't bet bad numbers, but I had the rare satisfaction. I was looking at it, I guess Monday morning or something. I had the rare satisfaction of saying under when it was 222. I'm like, it's under, and then the line moved later and told everybody else to bet it. But I was sharp early. And
I like that.
The only time I've been sharp in this series, it just felt like I knew the Sun they couldn't score at the same clip, but the Devin Booker under 30 1/2, that was sharp as shit.
No, that was good.
bet.
That
Yeah,
was really good.
He really forgets about his teammates a lot.
They because they
the
don't
Suns forgot a lot of things.
because Chris Paul, the veteran, the star, doesn't take control of the offense and get the ball to where it needs to go, and he lets Devin Booker take over the game. Devin
And I
Booker's a
think
young
you got
guy.
to credit Drew Holiday. He dummied Chris
time.
Paul a lot on defense.
He dummied a lot of people.
He didn't play well last night on offense, but his defense I think fucked with Chris Paul a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, of course it did. And when he switched on when he got on Booker every now and then, he was able to fuck up with it. He's
But
a very
Booker,
good defensive player.
Was two guys on him that have Jay Crowder was just sitting there. There's so many people that they could use, and it's just you can't just use Chris Paul and Booker to beat the Bucks.
Yeah, but when you get in this environment, of this high pressure environment, Devin Booker's going to play. Devin Booker's going to try to shoot. He's going to try to score. Chris Paul has to be the superstar. Has to be the guy that says, "This is how we're going to do it. This is how we get through this rough patch." And he never did. Chris Paul, great player, just not that guy. Not ready for that moment. He's not a championship player at this point.
no, I mean I don't know.
Not the number one player on a championship. He was not. Was Chris Paul a top 3 player in the series? Easily no, right?
No.
He wasn't a top three,
He
but
fell
not,
off so
not
bad
in
after
this
the first
series.
two.
No, even
I'll be honest with you. When they said he had COVID and he was posting Instagram videos instead, that kind of break,
yeah.
when you're in a playoff mindset, I think it screwed with him a little bit to the point of where he just wasn't the same once he came back. What did he have? One good game after that?
He had one good game. I believe he had 35 maybe. And then of course he had 21 and 11 the other night in a losing effort. He just never was the rock that they needed.
Right, but you have, as an athlete, you have to get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And that break took him out of a rhythm.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment was when I told everybody I knew that had a Suns future, hey, if they're giving you that lovely cash out button, you better hit it.
But at 2-0, a lot of people just assumed that the Suns were going to be able to win 2 out of the next 4 games, or 2 out of the next whatever games, 5, and they did. They didn't. They fell apart. The Bucks made the adjustments, and the Bucks were just so solidly built. Like I say, Chris Paul needed to step up and be that guy. Like Chris Middleton was that guy. Whenever they needed anything rock solid, it was Chris Middleton, allowing Giannis to step into the stratosphere last night. The questions about Giannis are now over forever, right?
That was literally, in my entire life, his Game 6 performance has got to be in the top 3 to 5 I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
50 points.
50, what was he, 15 to 16 from the line, or
Yeah.
15 to 17?
Every question he faced during this series and before, the free throws, can he step up? Can he do it in the fourth quarter? Yes, yes, yes. Can he be the best player on a championship team? Yes, he was all of those things, and it was a joy to watch. It was fun to watch, and it's awesome.
No, I really, obviously, I had the Bucks, but I also enjoyed seeing everything I said come to fruition, because the Suns, after Game 3, I was like, they don't have an answer for this Bucks team, and we saw it throughout the next couple of games, where it just was almost like, how are the Suns going to not capitalize here and be able to win another game? And I was honestly floored, but I knew if the Bucks were going to win that series, they had to do it at home last night. I'm not going to lie, the spread there was a couple moments I was like, this game's going to land 4. I'm going to scream at everybody.
I mean,
then I'm going to just...
He was wide open for 3 at the end.
Yeah,
I was shit myself. I was like, and I knew Giannis was missing that last free throw, too.
Yeah.
It was just, the first one was too good.
When he got to 50,
Just
and he got
50
to
was
50,
perfect.
he hit
50, you don't need 50. 51 would look weird on the stat sheet. Just 50's better.
of course, perfect. But that's just the kind of things that happen, right? Like, you live and die by the hook in this world that we live in, and so I totally was like, oh, great. But I'm not the type. I'm not going to be like, oh, go lay $2 on the with the Bucks on the money line. So to get the cover late was nice, and to see them be able to win at home, because that crowd outside,
incredible,
man.
what I would have given to bid, I didn't want to be inside the game. To be outside there was awesome.
Marty, you went to a Bucks playoff game, right?
Yes.
What was it? Obviously, it doesn't compare to Game 6 and how it was. Were they gathering in the Deer District then?
Yeah, it was still like pretty crowded then, but even like inside, dude, was and that was like the blowout game. They beat the Hawks.
That was one of the things I loved about this series. 2 hungry franchises, 2 crazed franchises. Like Phoenix hadn't been in the finals since '93. The Bucks hadn't won a championship since
Way underrated
1971.
fan bases, both of them.
Very passionate. I mean, these smaller market. Phoenix is not a small market, but these.
But in theory, it is. I know Phoenix itself is like a major
city,
metropolitan area.
It's not a TV center.
But it's not. It's not the Lakers.
Right.
It's not the Heat.
It's not the Knicks.
It's not the Knicks. It's not the Nets. It's
Philly,
to me, yeah, exactly. It's a smaller market, because let me tell you, the last time I went to a Suns game, let's call it 2017.
Yeah.
We had courtside seats.
It wasn't a big deal.
It was like $140 for seats, and like nobody was there.
They literally
nobody.
They hadn't made the playoffs since 2010.
Yeah.
Literally not even the playoffs.
You're right though about Giannis. Like, me and Big Ev were talking. It's crazy. Like, you put just one championship, questions are over.
It's,
we don't
it's
give
crazy
a shit.
the way
society
like,
that we
just
built.
the way the ball, like the way the pendulum just swings.
Yeah.
Like, say they lose, say like something happens this game, they lose. Everyone's like, oh, he's a whatever, blah blah blah. And then him just winning now, it's like over, done. It was just crazy to see the way he literally was kind of the closest thing we've seen to Shaq's and Shaq.
Yeah,
that.
It's like a modern.
Doesn't
Shaq,
need to shoot it all to win.
Yeah.
And it was also crazy on the other end, just the Suns. It literally, with the series, it felt like they were like the guy climbing the rope in gym class, and you're getting up, you're climbing, then once you kind of start losing that momentum, hands get sweaty, and you kind of just can't, like, you're trying to keep reaching, trying to grab it, and you just have no answer, can't find it, you just fall down.
Well, that's the beauty of how the Bucks are built, right? I mean, the Bucks have enough offensive options. They got one of the most elite players in they probably have the best player in the league. We'll talk about that in a minute. They got him. Then they got Middleton, just a steady assassin, and they got other guys. Drew Holiday can step up and score 30 in a night. But on the defensive end, you got Drew Holiday absolutely destroying guards that he's playing. Then you got Chris Middleton, who's a very good defensive player, and you got the long arms of Giannis everywhere you need them. They're built so well on both ends.
It felt like Giannis had 20 blocks last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just, he was all over the place.
Holiday was awesome defensively in the series.
And Giannis is not just that the evolution of a 7-footer offensively, which he is. Defensively, he is too, because as a 7-footer blocking shots back in the 90s, back in the 80s, you think of Patrick Ewing, you think of David Robinson, you think of Shaq patrolling the 5 feet around the bucket. You can't get close, and he swats it. Giannis is swatting shots all over the place.
Everywhere.
He is everywhere. He's disrupting passing lanes. It's just fantastic.
The real question is, though, what did you think about his drink order at Chick-fil-A? Because there's a lot of
what
chatter
order?
going.
Was that the 50?
Half Sprite, half lemonade.
Half Sprite, half lemonade, no ice.
It's a tragedy if he doesn't have his own in the next, like, 3 to 6 months.
But
I don't feel it's going to be a problem.
Chick-fil-A ice is elite.
Can I have a 50-piece? Sorry, I will put you. Can I put your camera?
50-piece, guys.
Or no? Sure. There's 150,000 people watching you right now.
Really?
Yes. So can I have, please, a 50-piece Mac Minis, 50 exactly,
Okay.
not 51, not 49.
Yeah.
Chicken Minis, yes, 50. And let me have a large drink, no ice, half Sprite, half lemonade.
That's fantastic.
It's an elite drink, but you need ice at Chick-fil-A.
But I love that you
No,
focus on
because they give you too much ice.
That's fine.
That's what I said.
But you
I
could
said
say,
he's like a three.
you
He's
could
a three.
say light ice.
Why are we focusing on the fact on his drink order when this man drove to Chick-fil-A and ordered a 50-piece the day after dropping a 50-piece to
Because
win a
he's the
championship?
best. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's funny as fuck. His Instagram lives are the best.
Giannis is easily the most likable player in the NBA.
And he's
I
horny.
didn't realize he was
is.
as likable.
No,
as he
so
is.
I've been following him on social media for maybe 2 or 3 years now. I just think that if the NBA is smart, now they're going to, but if they were, they would start utilizing players that are likable. Yes, you have the guys that everybody hates because you like to hate them, right? But like he could be such a great face for that franchise and for the NBA as a whole. Like he has to be your star. Like look at how funny he is.
Yeah.
Isn't he? He's horny. He's horny as fuck. His Instagram lives are so horny. It's so funny.
I'd never noticed the
between the
likability.
sheets.
Yeah,
right?
freaking sheets for Greek in the streets or something like that. It was like
I never noticed the likability of Giannis until the last couple of
it's
rounds.
also his like accent makes it 10 times
it
more
is.
funny. Where
Like
Yes.
that video of the little girl showing him the drawings that went viral a couple days ago, which
Yeah.
I'm sure that's an old video and everybody had already seen it. But he walks around and he looks at her. It's just
just hugging her. It's the best.
There's a video a while ago where he's like playing like a mini guitar and he's like singing to his son's mother, and it's like so cringe, but it's so cute because he's just this big guy and here's this like little instrument. And I think that's obviously him growing up in another country from parents who are immigrants, he speaks 3 different languages. The guy's like smart, but he's so goofy that you have to like him.
She also, the Chick-fil-A girl, clearly didn't recognize him.
Oh no.
What
Zero
percentage?
idea.
What percentage of Chick-fil-A workers in Milwaukee wouldn't recognize him? It's got to be low, right?
Gotta be low.
No, I don't know, man. The
I think
Chick-fil-A
you'd be
workers.
surprised.
I think Chick-fil-A workers are just focused on
They're a
Chick-fil-A.
focused bunch.
Like
They're-
they're making sure they're saying "Have a blessed day."
They're about that
It's like,
business.
yeah.
Well, they have to. They have like a specific like set of protocols that they have to do. So she probably, I don't know. I mean, he pulled up in a G-Wagon. He's got to be somebody.
If she said Giannis, she's fired.
We. I say they always ask you your name, right? So if he asks, "What's your name?" Giannis, and she's like, "I don't know how to spell that."
it.
Yeah, can
Why?
you spell it for me, please? You got another name I can use?
Chick-fil-A hasn't gotten enough credit for really stepping up into the pandemic either, because they're more crowded than ever, and they're the efficient line that they've come up with out there.
Isn't it amazing?
It's unbelievable.
How they know you're up next.
But you can
They're
see
directing
How do they
traffic in
know-
the parking lot.
How
They
do
should have been
know
giving out the
Marty's up
vaccines.
next?
their quarantine
Yeah, sure.
operation. They were already great. Their quarantine operation has been elite.
Yeah,
They'll
really are.
get you in the parking lot, and you'll see a line. I go up in Paramus. No, it's up in Ramsey, New Jersey. I go to Chick-fil-A, and it looks like there's 800 people in line because there's 800 people in line. 5 minutes.
And
Shout
you
out
know-
to the Omaha Chick-fil-A for stocking sweet tea and helping Mississippi State win a national
That's right.
championship.
Yes, they sure
You know
did.
what Chick-fil-A does too? Like you go to McDonald's, the ice cream machine's out, or like
Right.
Burger King. I went to Burger King the other day. Like you can only order 2, 3, or 4. That was it. And then I went to Wendy's 2 days ago. No sauce.
And you turn around, a Chick-fil-A worker just hands you a
and
tray.
they have everything. They
Right.
never, not one time have I been like, we're out of this.
Actually, when me and TJ were in Omaha for the College World Series, we were there for 2 weeks, obviously.
You went there?
But
I
I
know
did.
that,
I missed that memo.
I had to grow the game. Somebody had to do
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Fair enough.
So I go out there, and our routine every day, there was a Chick-fil-A in the little area, in the like T-shirt area, and I went and bought 2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, a sweet tea, and water for TJ every single day. That became Mississippi State is winning. I did it like 6 days in a row.
Sounds delightful.
God, it was wonderful.
Southern people, you guys are so fucking weird with your sweet tea. It's not good.
I'm not a sweet tea guy.
It's
I'm already
crazy.
fat. I'm already fat as it is. It's like I used
hold
to.
on, time.
Like
You
I
can't
went,
just tell me it's not good.
when I was in
sweet tea is
Arkansas,
the elixir of the gods.
one guy didn't go to the cafeteria with us because he said the sweet tea's not that good.
Right? Yeah, I base where I go on good sweet tea.
It's like relax. a little on
Sonic,
the
Chick-fil-A,
sweet tea.
Sonic and Chick-fil-A, best sweet teas in the fast food game. McDonald's, not bad.
I'm taking an Arnold Palmer half and half every time.
I'm getting a McDonald's
Easy.
Coke
It's literally
every day.
sugar, tea, and water, Big Ev. It's right up your alley.
It's just not. It's not good. It's not that good.
It tastes. It's got
What
a
about
weird
you?
taste.
Not it.
No.
Water, booze. That's it. Those are the only 2 things I consume. I'll be honest with you. Sweet tea.
Like Dana B over here.
It's not great. It's too sugary.
It's
I don't
gross.
know. I don't like soda either, though, right?
It tastes like sugar water with a little like dirt drop.
Yes, because that's what tea tastes like. Tea leaves are terrible. Everybody's like, oh, you want to sleep better? You should drink blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
McDonald's loses.
Seem like you sleep fine.
No.
When I said it was dirt, Brandon wanted to punch me.
I did. I did share a
But
little eyes.
I think that's actually a great take. Dirt. I'm going to start
It's just
using
a
that.
little like it just little drop. Like it literally tastes like water, just sugary water with a little just something in there.
McDonald's takes a loss on their drinks because how much they respect.
That's a
it.
dedication to quality.
They pay more for their syrup than anybody else.
I
and
knew they
only
got the
charge
best Coke.
$1.
And they just fleece us on everything else.
But yeah, fleece us for everything
but
else.
give
but
us the
still.
good drinks.
All right.
I have one quick last Giannis point. before we move on.
I was gonna get us back there. Go ahead.
Okay. My point is this. Think about this. He's an 18-year-old kid from Athens, Greece, who's probably never heard of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Right.
He gets drafted, flies to New York, is headed to Milwaukee. Think about him being an 18-year-old in Milwaukee, away from his family, living in some apartment complex, sending all his money to Greece. To go from like how lonely he had to be there to liking Milwaukee so much in the era of the super team to not join up with these other guys like everybody else is out of loyalty to a city he'd probably never heard of 7 or 8 years
That's a great
before.
point.
You know, like to think about that story and like Dave tweeted about it. Like how much more do y'all respect this?
Yeah, but hold on.
Okay.
Dave only tweeted about it as a dig to somebody else,
Okay, fair
not
enough.
as credit to Giannis.
Okay, fair enough. But the point is, in the era of the super team, don't you respect Giannis for, coming up with Milwaukee in the small market?
Well, I certainly do. I love the fact that they built this team, too. They built this team.
exactly.
They had a plan. They built it. In fact, I look around at other teams that are building, like, the process in Philly looks really fucking stupid now, right? It looks really stupid because we just had two teams that had bottomed out. Well, I don't know if Milwaukee bottomed out, but Milwaukee built around Giannis, and Phoenix was down. I mean, they were down. They had the number one pick with 8, and they were done, and they built smartly and almost won an NBA championship.
I know we kind of bagged on Chris Paul a little bit, but someone brought this up to me, maybe 6 months ago about how great Chris Paul is as an attribute to teams.
Yes.
Look at Oklahoma City. Insert Chris Paul. Look at Phoenix. Insert Chris Paul. I do think, even though we did kind of bag on him, there are certain players that you can insert them if you build around them. And that's why we saw the two teams in the finals that we did.
The problem Chris Paul runs into is he is looked at as an all-time great point guard. He is looked at as an all-time great player. Whereas to be one of those people, you can't just be, which this is a great quality. You can't be the guy that goes and makes a team good. You have to be the guy that goes and makes a team a champion. And that's what separates certain levels from other levels. You insert Chris Paul to any team, that team is going to get very, very good very quickly because he is going to be able to do what you need to do. He's going to be able to lead that team. But you're not judged on your third-round playoff exits. You're judged on when do you hold that trophy up. And it might not be fair, frankly. It might not be fair because Giannis, if he hadn't won this trophy, would still be one of the best basketball players in the world. But now we're having a discussion. Is this his league now?
No, but that's what I'm saying about just the way it's crazy. Just like one game can just swing an entire perspective of someone's entire career. Because I don't think if the Bucks lost the series, I don't think anyone's really saying Giannis is the best player in the league. They win. Now it's like if you don't say that, you're stupid.
Yeah,
it's crazy the way it just swings like that.
The Paul thing, though, let's remember 2 years ago, he had the worst contract in the NBA at the end of his Houston tenure. Nobody wanted him at all. Oklahoma City took his contract because they were rebuilding.
Yeah.
Literally, because they had to eat it. He takes an Oklahoma City team that's trying to win 20, 25 games, gets them to the 6th seed. He joins a Phoenix team that hadn't even made the damn playoffs in 11 years and almost won the finals. I mean, I know he's not a champion, but you got to respect incredible last 2 years.
That's how unfair this whole thing is. That's how tight the margins are of you're a legend, you're this. They're always – I mean, Chris Paul is a great player, a phenomenal player. But, when you get that top level, I mean, LeBron was the best player in the league for 7 years before he won the championship, and it was only until he won the championship, and even then it was still.
Well, that's because he had to leave to win a championship, and that's what.
Even then, it was that
full circle. That's what Giannis didn't have to do.
Bingo.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't really blame LeBron for doing what he did, but I also credit Giannis for doing it the way he did it too. So
LeBron didn't have Middleton or Drew Holiday
2
on
years
his Cleveland
ago.
teams for sure.
LeBron played for one of the worst run organizations in sports, and Cleveland just lucked into LeBron, and they never did anything to help him. So he was right to leave. But Giannis, 2 years ago we were all Giannis will never stay in Milwaukee. He'll never stay in Milwaukee, and now he has stayed in Milwaukee and he has won a championship. In fact, earlier this year, I stupidly on this show was like, I think I'd rather have the Knicks future than the Bucks future, because the Bucks have proven they can't win in the playoffs. Giannis has proven he can't be the guy, and now both of those things dead wrong.
Even as
they were dead wrong then.
You don't want the Knicks future.
Yeah, no. Even as a Knicks fan, I don't think
we were all swept up in Nick. I said it, and you said it on the show. We both said it.
I'd like to check the tapes on that. Listen, I definitely have some tape out there saying I didn't believe Giannis could win because I didn't think he could. I didn't think he could transcend into this like I said, this Shaq-esque type dominant performance. I thought my problem with him going into is that I felt like he needed Chris Middleton to close games, which was a problem, I thought at the time. But he just took it to a whole nother level that just took it right past that, and it didn't matter.
There's a difference in needing Chris Middleton to do the late minutes and having Chris Middleton to do the late shots. I mean, it kind of every superstar needs another one. Jordan needed Pippen. Magic needed everybody around him. Bird needed McHale and Perry. You can't do it without those guys. So we kind of, again, I know myself, unfairly say, oh, he needs Middleton. Yeah, of course he does. Everybody does.
I mean, we had a year ago, Richard Jefferson called him Robin.
Yeah, said he was
that he couldn't be the guy, that he was a number 2 at best.
And he is very much Batman.
Big time.
Very Batman.
Big time.
Shout out Bobby Portis.
Why are you shouting out Bobby Portis?
He's sick.
Oh, and he went to Arkansas.
Correct.
Who you love.
Arkansas.
No, he's just the fact that no one was there. The reporter was talking to Drew Holiday, and the crowd just started erupting, screaming Bobby. That's amazing.
I loved Bobby Portis in Game 5 in Phoenix, going down and holding his ankle like he had been shot.
Yes.
And it was a very classic European soccer move. He's down. Oh, okay, didn't get the call. Gets up and runs off.
Yeah, you got to do that.
It was
you got to try once in a while.
I didn't realize Bobby Portis was as big as he is either.
Oh, yeah. The headband, it's just he's the best.
He's got a great look.
Yeah. I feel like the best memory of him knocking that guy out in Chicago in practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he was on the Knicks. That's why I thought the Knicks got like .001 of a championship, just because.
Do we have enough headband guys these days? I feel like we've gone backwards on headbands.
Yeah, I don't think headbands are much of a thing anymore unless you're trying to hide your bad hairline.
LeBron did that.
Honestly, I think it's because LeBron stopped wearing them. I feel like he stopped and people really haven't worn them as much.
Marty, what do you think about wearing a headband to hide a bad hairline?
I would never do that. I don't wear hats ever. Alex Caruso wears one. He's bald.
Yes,
though,
but he's bald.
Like,
so it doesn't matter. He's been bald
I think
for a while.
he's just using that actually for sweat.
He's using it for a functional reason.
If you need a good photo, Google him with hair. It is the weirdest.
Alex Caruso?
Yeah.
With the whole thing?
Yeah, when he had hair. It's like you're.
He was already going bald at Texas A&M, wasn't he?
Yeah,
college.
for sure.
Yeah.
He never.
So was Trae Young when he was at Oklahoma. So
that's true.
It just unfortunately happens.
Trae Young's isn't that bad. I'm gonna stick up for him.
It ain't great.
It's not good because some of the shit hangs out.
No,
but
it's so thin.
If he just had like a nice cleaned up haircut, it would be fine. I'm a big Trae Young fan. He won me a ton of money. See, it's like a totally different human being.
That fact that man's on a Los Angeles Lakers.
It's still even not that much hair though. It's you can tell.
No, but like that's when
looks
he
like
just
Spider.
said. That's when he's like, screw it and just
Don't do Spider like that. Why would you say that?
Look at that. That's Ben Mentz's hair.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, it is.
Poor guy.
I like it was good camera work.
I got the long, but it's just the ball. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So is this now Giannis's league? Is he the unquestioned number one as the reigning champion? He gets to have a year where he's number one unquestioned, right?
I think so. I mean, that was the most dominant we've seen anybody
between him and KD at this point.
Because LeBron, he was the most dominant I've seen since LeBron in his prime.
You think it's KD? I think it's Giannis.
No,
and they beat the Nets too in that 7-game series.
Yeah, I think it's Giannis. Giannis, KD, 1A, 1B.
Sure.
You think KD though?
I
KD.
think KD.
What about you?
It's tough to say after you just fucking dropped 50.
So
in the
that's the
championship,
problem, right?
like-
I'm trying to make sure I don't have a recency bias in my brain, right?
It's impossible not to.
That's kind of what it is, right? And so while I respect what Kevin Durant is able to do because he's also one of those plug and play players, he was hurt so much this year that I just don't have that in my mind of like he should be number one, and that shouldn't hurt him over the course of his career. But in my most recent thought process, it does.
The way I look at it is Kevin Durant is an excellent player, great scorer, fantastic. Kevin Durant's been in the league now since 2007, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
2007. So Kevin Durant's, I want to say 30, 33, maybe 32, which isn't old, but Giannis is like right at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, what's-
26.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's
25.
just like
but-
He's in the
scratching
prime.
his
Yeah,
prime.
yeah. So I think Giannis is, KD is not this. Giannis is still this. Maybe not straight up anymore, but he's at the peak, and I got to go with Giannis. I mean, that was very, very impressive. It was great. It was awesome. Kevin Durant, you talk about blaming LeBron for joining a super team. I mean, he's never won it without joining a super team. So
Big facts.
So
Did you see already the odds for next season?
so Nets are like
Nets are plus
200.
250.
Plus
And the Bucks are plus 800.
Wow.
I think the Lakers were 6 or 650.
I think
Yeah,
it
but
kinda
you
got the Bucks
makes
you
third.
guys have to remember, though, from a bookmaking perspective, these futures bets, the bookmakers know where the money's going to come in. It's always going to come in on the Lakers. It's probably going to come in on the Nets.
Yeah.
They know that the Knicks are a big market, so you're not getting true market value on some of these outcomes that are a year away.
But especially with the Nets not being healthy at the
I was
end
gonna
of the
say,
year,
that's what I was gonna
That's
bring
why
up.
everyone's gonna be like, well, if they had everyone healthy, they would have beat the Bucks. But like,
Can I just talk to you real quick?
Yes.
Just me and you. Don't worry about these.
I
other
know
guys.
exactly what you're gonna say.
I know what he is, too.
We're idiots. you come in here talking true market value and everything, and it all makes sense, and you clearly know more than the rest of us.
I'll be honest, I didn't listen to a word you said after you said market value.
So I got to tell this story.
Just say that you like this team because they wear purple. The graduated purple.
Or you like their mascot.
You like their
if
mascot.
their dog died, let me know, all right?
Listen, I got to hijack the show real quick. So yesterday
Please do.
I'm walking into Erica's office, and Marty walks by. I think you were with him.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to both of you guys, said hello. Marty goes, "You a winning sports bettor?" And I said, I start going on this like thing about, look, everybody's going to have a winning year. They're going to have winning sports. They're going to have, but lifetime when you're laying 11 to win 10. And like, I just see his eyes glaze over like, can she shut the fuck up? And and he goes,
Didn't
can
know
you
you could see that?
And he just literally went like this. And I looked and I was like, all right, I got to go to Erica's office now. Like I
Just
knew
want to
it.
know if you're gonna give me winners
no,
or not.
Listen,
we kept walking.
yes,
He
no.
said, "What did she say?"
Yeah, literally, my whole goal at the end of the day is to pick winners, and
That's
make
everybody's goal.
and make good bets, and that's what I want to bring to the table here.
That
is
not so much for me.
But that's where the key is to actually making money doing this. If you make good bets long term, you can actually win money, and you don't have to.
But the thing is,
If you could be
in my
entertaining
mind-
losing,
In
you
my
could be out
mind,
here
every
too.
pick I have is a good bet. Every pick.
Yeah,
You
that's
know-
the
you
most
know-
confident gambler I've
You know
ever seen.
you know
Okay.
anything about altitude?
Of course.
The Rockies tonight?
Let me
good at
guess.
home.
You're going to take the over.
No, I'm taking them
Rockies.
money line. They're the best money line.
What are
team.
they tonight at home? Minus 170. I haven't even
140.
looked.
I think
140.
140,
They're on my card too.
I'm going to
They
be honest
lost
with you.
yesterday. It's belts back.
Yeah, there you go. Let's play the Martingale system while we're at it. Okay, so in all seriousness, I do not handicap baseball, so I can't sit here and tell you guys that this is right or wrong. But
that's what. So Megan said the same thing, that she doesn't do
NBA.
and it's like I have to bet everything.
Yeah.
I can't sit here.
I
You
only,
guys-
I'm the same
And
way.
I
you're-
only
you're
bet baseball
you're
because
smarter.
we have this. I wouldn't bet it.
Same.
Oh, no,
same on
Yeah,
both.
so I'd be betting baseball.
whoa,
I'd be
whoa,
betting
whoa, whoa,
baseball.
whoa, whoa!
Betting
I
everything.
never said I didn't bet baseball. I said I don't handicap baseball, which means I have guys far smarter than myself that have actual like models and they read tons of information. They're talking about like certain things with this pitcher versus this umpire versus this guy versus there's a pitching change and all these things. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm just gonna bet this first 5 because if I bet at full game, their bullpen's gonna screw this up. Like that's where I'm at. So when I said I didn't handicap, that means I don't know shit about baseball. But doesn't mean I'm not betting. I'm still gonna have tons of action
Talking
on today on the
models,
baseball side.
I barely know how to use Excel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Excel is your friend.
I need to lose with my brain. I can't lose with someone else.
That's a big fact. You're absolutely right.
I hate losing with
I
someone else's
had a pretty big meltdown during March Madness with some friends, and the reason why I did is because we all started kind of being in that group think, and I bet way more games than I normally would. Obviously, the booze is flown. It's Vegas. It's March Madness.
Yeah.
And I literally looked at all of them, and I was like, I got to get the fuck away from you guys. And they're like, why? And I go, I'm going to be very mad at you. I will lose my own money. I don't need you talking me into laying
honestly,
5.
that's-
You're fucked.
That's a
Yeah.
problem.
When
That is
we're
gonna
all
come up.
we're all together. You hear one person say, "Oh, I like fucking Seton Hall. I like it's like fuck, and you just take everything because you don't want to miss out either.
That
So
is
it's
exactly
brutal.
what my thought process probably was during March. You don't want to miss out on a winner.
Yeah, because
But-
everyone's cheering. You're sitting there like a schmuck. It's like, all right, well, now I don't know what to do.
And college basketball is the worst with it too, because there's just so many games.
It's
You're
the
just
best.
and it's like you hear in this
the
office
best.
too. You hear like one person say I like St. John's. And you're like, oh, like everyone's saying they like St. John's. Like maybe I should go the other way. You're playing mind games with yourself over what just one person said versus other person said.
My big thing with college basketball is just getting on a team I never would have thought of otherwise. Hearing Marty say Bryant today, and then I bet Bryant they win. I'm betting Bryant the rest of the year.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
With
I'm the
this-
most loyal gambler.
With this college basketball shit, like we went to Alabama and Arkansas.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to bet against those teams.
Oh
this
my
year.
god,
Ever.
I bet on it every time.
Yeah.
Just because they let me do stuff there.
When we went to Nebraska, it was like that. Brando, you and I were both like, Nebraska's making a run at the Big
Yeah.
Ten.
No,
We're
yeah,
on the
that's
field.
exactly right.
Because we're on the field with the team. You know.
Have you met Rico Bosco yet?
I have not.
Oh, are you excited about that? He'll probably try to squeeze you out of the company. So try to get in whatever you can now. Get your picks in, get your blogs in, get everything in. because
Okay.
He'll probably try to get you fired.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the first time this year.
That's true. That was a bunch of bullshit, by the way.
What are you going to do?
I guess you don't want to talk about it. I'm not
We
gonna make you
can talk about it, but it's more so, look, how do I say this? Have you ever felt like you were never supposed to be somewhere, like you felt really out of
Just
place?
didn't fit. Yeah.
I
every day.
knew I didn't. Okay, see, perfect. So I knew I didn't really fit with that dynamic. I don't
Yeah.
have a broadcasting background. I hang out with bookmakers and guys that bet games every day and have $30,000 in their pocket, and we're talking, again, things like Marty's tuning me out, like math models, and right, like it's what it is. And so I'm a gambler at heart. I have been since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Why they thought they were hiring a broadcaster
Yeah.
is beyond me. I'm like, did you look at my Twitter ever, or maybe my Instagram, or did you think to do any sort of
Right.
research on? I didn't even have a fucking interview. They literally came in the 11th hour. I was negotiating with a couple other companies, and my agent says, "Hey, they want to hire you." I'm like, "Cool. This is how much money I need to stay in Vegas."
Yeah.
And they gave it to me.
It's
And I
just-
said, "Okay."
It's just the highest level of bullshit to use something that happened just 12 years ago, 10 years ago,
Not
whatever.
9 years ago. I said a decade. I should have said almost a decade and I got chastised by a couple blue check mark losers
It's
by,
just
for being
unbelievable.
incorrect. But
The fact that we've devolved as a society into scoreboard watching or to keeping score of shit that happened decades ago just to try to make ourselves feel righteous on the inside for something that we lack is fucking bullshit. What happened to you was bullshit, but I'm glad you're here.
yeah, I'm very glad to be here too. Thanks, Brandon.
All right, so
Win total Wednesday.
win total Wednesday. Win total Wednesday. I have two college football win totals that I have two college football win totals. By the way, did you notice that she threw us under the bus on her blog, Trista, this morning?
Us?
Yeah, threw a Pick Central on the blog.
What do you guys do?
Said what?
She said, like, everybody's wrong every now and then. Has anybody on Pick Central ever ended a year in the black?
Shut the fuck up.
So,
I just
anyway.
want to say on record, I've been positive for like 3 months straight.
I actually
One of the
tried to help
quiet-
her out this morning. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, the hell with that.
Hell yeah, Mincy, yeah.
Mincy.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
I
Just
never
take it to
realized
the-
how many
when I
little
got my ass-
beefs.
Oh,
there's
there.
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
there's a
Welcome
lot.
to the
It's
fucking
not even
mud.
a frat
You
house.
guys-
It's more like a high school.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't have beef with people.
Oh, you're gonna have
Yeah,
to.
but no, that's the thing, man. We all get our ass beat. I mean,
Tell her to
look,
come in. Tell her to come in.
No, I don't want to
No,
do that.
no,
I don't want to play that
See
game.
that?
no, you just gotta own it,
There you
though.
go.
I mean, look, everybody in the world
If you
knows
want her,
I
I'll
got,
get her.
No, I'm good.
everybody in the
I'm
world knows I got my ass beat in Omaha, and I didn't blame it on this league. You know, like you take it.
Mincy.
No,
I
but-
like this Mincy.
Oh,
No, but
so
you take it to the
she has
face
to
if
go.
you lose.
It's
Deflecting it, just you gotta
12:30.
own it. You know,
Facts.
Absolutely. You got to own your loss. If you can own your losses, that's the way you move forward. For 110% sure. Trust me, I'm the biggest sore loser on the planet, and you guys are going to learn that. I hate losing. It just but it's within myself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. And
Actually,
I think
I'll make an excuse anything to when I lose. I'll be like that pitcher. I knew he was out last night or something. I'll make up something.
Well, gambling at heart, I think as real gamblers, I know all of us here are. It's kind of like it is about the money, enjoying winning the money is that's the goal. But there is a big part of it that's just I just want to be I'm right, fuck you.
Yep.
I was right,
Bingo.
you were wrong, fuck you.
All right,
and that's where it comes from.
Win total Wednesday. Let's get a couple of win totals in here. College football win totals. Did you bring one?
I got
Did
one,
you bring
yeah.
one?
I did too.
Did you bring one?
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
tell you about it, so it's
No,
okay.
but
If
I got one.
If you got one, that's great. Fantastic. So I guess we can start. We'll start on the right and come left. We'll start with Ben Mintz.
I'm going Florida Gators under 9, and let me tell you why. They got Bama and LSU as their SEC West opponents, And their defense kind of wasn't really that great last year. Replacing Tony, Kyle Pitts, and Trask, I hadn't liked what I've seen. Dan Mullen, great quarterback developer, but I hadn't liked what I've seen out of Emory Jones so far. If they lose to Bama, Georgia, and LSU, I'm literally free rolling the whole rest of the schedule. I mean, so I'm on Florida under 9. I think they take a step back.
I love Florida under 9. Kentucky's also going to be pretty good in the East.
They're at Kentucky, at Missouri, are both
at
sneaky.
LSU as well.
Yeah,
those are going to be sneaky home underdogs.
I've got them losing to. I mean, if they're at LSU, Bama at home, Georgia and Jacksonville, I've got them losing all 3, and then the whole rest of the schedule's a free roll.
Yeah,
It's
so
not working out.
I like that pick. Kelly.
So we spoke on the futures market. I actually tweeted this one out a couple of weeks ago. I have not bet it yet because I do think it's going to continue to get bet up. A lot of things that people don't realize is that there is a lot of public bias built into some of these season win totals, some of these futures bets, because the bookmakers already know that you're going to bet this if it's 9, 9.5, or 10. Like last year, I know it's NFL, but my buddy that's a huge Tom Brady fan gave me 11 wins on the Bucks when the market was 9.5.
Yeah.
Because he was so confident. Now I lost, don't get me wrong, but in my sports bettor brain, I had a 1.5 game edge. And that's what I see here with the Iowa State Cyclones. Love Matt Campbell. A little preface, I am a Big 12 girl. That is the number 1 college conference that I do study because I got a lot of insight.
You like points? No, I'm just.
Listen, I know that the guy from the SEC is going to bag on the defense here, but the SEC defense has not been as elite as they once
not
were.
last year,
They
certainly
switched
not.
a little bit. I would say Big 12 played more defense last year.
In fact, I got a pick that's going to back you up in a minute.
So that being said, I stick to a few conferences. I love the Big 10, SEC, Big 12 are my 3. I do the Pac-12 just because of the West Coast bias out there, but I don't think that Matt Campbell can win 10 games. Now, this is where it gets tough.
They're going to be really good.
They're going to be really good, and that is not up for debate. But let me tell you this right now. The number 1 game, and everyone's like, oh, she's biased about this. The number 1 game is going to be that game in Manhattan. They call it Farmageddon.
Yeah.
K-State has not lost to Iowa State since I was in college.
Chris Kleiman, also a very good coach. They had a down year last year.
They had a down year, but there's also a lot of drama last year. And this is the good thing about the Big 12 is I get lots of little guys that I know everywhere, and I'll get a text and I'll get a thing. There was a lot of kids that transferred out of K-State. Now, does that mean that they're going to be able to fill in those slots? Maybe, maybe not. But I think Skylar Thompson's going to be okay. And I think that right there will be the game where it will define whether they're going to go over 9.5 wins or not. I have not bet it yet. I'm looking for some plus money on the under.
Yeah.
I think by mid-August, we'll be able to find it. And the other thing is, too, when we're betting these season win totals that I like to tell people, kind of just take a look at a bigger picture, especially with the NFL and guys getting hurt during preseason and things like that. You get Andrew Luck. You got a couple years ago, you got the Colts season win total over and Andrew Luck retires before game 1. Like, you're going to be pissed. Now, obviously, that's a very late play, but keep in mind, I don't know if we need to be rushing to back any of these unless you found an incredibly great number. But I think some of these books might go Iowa State 10, and if that's the case, I'm hammering the under.
Certainly, we're doing Win Total Wednesdays to give us something to talk about in the summer, to give us some sort of content. But yeah, I would agree with that. Especially like, what if you bet the Rams win total, which I don't know.
Cam Akers, he's not going to affect. He's not going to affect the win total, but he may affect the juice on it. And you have to think about how the Rams offense is structured.
But you're right. What if Cam Akers was a quarterback? I mean, things happen. So yours is Iowa State under 9.5.
Yes.
I love Iowa State this year. They do make me nervous. At Oklahoma, I mean that's rough. And then
so I made
they haven't
them
beaten Iowa in a while either.
Exactly. They play Iowa out of the gate always. I made them a 2.5 point favorite versus Iowa. I made them a 9.5 point underdog at Oklahoma. And obviously these are early year lines, but that's my biggest thing there is where I think that Iowa game is a coin flip, and that could be almost as definitive as the K-State game.
I have 2. One is a team total and one is a national championship future. My first one is we're going to the ACC. Georgia Tech is going into year 3 of Jeff Collins, and they got incrementally better. They were terrible the first year as they transitioned. They had moments last year where they were good, moments where they were terrible. But they had a freshman quarterback that they committed to. I think that pays off in year 2 when Jeff Sims is a sophomore, not a freshman. I believe they've got 10 starters back defensively. The ACC schedule is not a real meat grinder. Oh, I'm sorry, I have 3. I won't take much time on the other one, though. Georgia Tech over 5. Over 5. They have a very tough out-of-conference schedule. They got Notre Dame, they got Clemson, they got Georgia. That's very tough. You can go ahead and write those 3 off. But they got home games against Northern Illinois, Kennesaw State, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Boston College. Boston College, I think, is going to be good. Virginia Tech could be good. Pitt ain't bad. But these are all at home. You also have Duke, who I think is going to be wretched on the road. Virginia on the road is a toss-up game. I think Georgia Tech making a bowl, getting to 6 wins in year 3 under Jeff Collins will be a huge step for that program. They will be somebody who will be engaged in October and November, no matter how the season's going, because they're trying to get to 6. Jeff Collins trying to show progress. Over 5 for Georgia Tech.
He's been recruiting pretty well, too.
Over 5 for Georgia Tech. And I won't take long. Tennessee under 6. Wretched team. They're trying to strike gold on a transfer quarterback, be it Hendon Hooker or Joe Milton. I don't see it's going to happen. They lost too many weapons. Everybody transferred out. And Oklahoma plus 650 to win the national championship.
God.
Well, you don't like it?
God, Oklahoma is the worst representation every single year in the college football playoff, and it makes me so pissed off because I do not want 2 SEC teams in there.
That's fine.
But they are the exact reason why 2 SEC teams should get in.
Everybody always says, and I always say it, Oklahoma can get to the playoff because they're built to win the Big 12, but when they get there, they get their doors blown off because they're not built as an elite. However, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, down just enough to open the door. Not down, but down just enough to open the door, all with new quarterbacks. Georgia's good, but they got the same thing. And, yes, Oklahoma hasn't been good in the playoff. Yes, Oklahoma's been terrible. Yes, Oklahoma hasn't been able to get to the top of the mountain. You know who else couldn't get to the top of the mountain before they got there? Clemson. How long was Clemsoning a thing before they got there? Just last night, the Bucks. They can't get there. They can't get there until they get there. This year, Alex Grinch will have a top 15 defense at Oklahoma.
That's the key.
Best pass rush in the country. Very good pass rush. Very good offense. Rattler doesn't even have to be elite to get him there. He has to be elite to win it, but they got a great transfer running back, Eric Gray from Tennessee. They filled in a lot of holes with transfers. Oklahoma is ready to win the national championship at plus 650. They are a decent bet. Big Ev.
I'm going to smaller conferences. Mountain West, Fresno State over 6. So they're out of conference. It's tough. They got Oregon and UCLA. It's tough. They also have Cal Poly, which should be a win. They got hit with COVID last year harder than almost anybody. They had 0 team activities in person from March to literally September 25th. Still started 3-1. Got their quarterback situation figured out. Hayner was awesome, throwing for a ton of yards. Then they get hit with COVID again. A couple games get canceled. They have all their top receivers back. Ronnie Rivers back, the stud running back, who he was a senior. He just came back from that extra COVID
Super
year.
senior, yeah.
Came back from the extra COVID year. Like I said, 9 starters back on defense. I just think their team, the way their schedule's built out, the way they're coached, I think just their style of play, high octane offense. I think they should be able to score in the Mountain West. I feel like 6-7 wins very attainable.
All right. Very, very good. Marty Mush.
I have huge team. Arizona under 2.5 wins. They are so bad.
Yeah.
I bet on them last year. It was 50-0 in the first quarter, pretty much. You remember that
Arizona
game?
State. I had them too. I had them as a
worst
home
bets of all time.
Oh, I had it too.
I fucking hate them. My under 2.5, and they're gonna win one game against I think they play Northern Arizona. That's their one win. Fuck them.
Do you think they can actually even beat Northern Arizona?
Maybe not.
Lumberjacks could be good this year.
But under 2.5, that's too many wins for them.
Yeah, it's. I always get scared of under 2.5 or under 1 or under 3.5. Now the totals are that low because the team is going to be god awful. Like Syracuse was 3.5 this year. I just can't pull the trigger on going under that because of these Power 5 teams because they've got the non-conference games that they ought to be able to win.
It's pretty much doing the same thing as taking Alabama.
Yeah, but look at
it is. It's just on the other side. Yeah,
it is on the other side. But you're wrong there when we talk about these bottom. Let's call them bottom 20.
Right.
In college football, even though they're a Power 5 school,
right.
Let's look at teams like Kansas
and Vanderbilt last year.
That fuck around and lose to Coastal Carolina at home for the second year in a row. And now this year they have to go to Coastal Carolina. Who decided that a Power 5 school should ever? Well, because they're that bad, they have to do it.
Well, Kansas is over under this year.
More fans in one.
I know it is. And I mean, look at all the drama surrounding them with Les Miles and everything else. But no, I'm not going to bet that they're going to go over.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they go over.
Yeah.
They got a lot better coach now, though.
Yeah,
I like the hire.
And they got some transfers from Buffalo. I think, I love Kansas over. I'm not going to give it out because I don't want to be that guy. But
Who do you think they beat?
They have South Dakota at home. I think that gets you the push, right? Okay. So now you're just Texas Tech is bad.
I don't know if Texas Tech is going to be that bad this year. This
Wells,
is a team.
he's coaching for his job.
Yeah. It's interesting. So to answer your question, I have no fucking idea, but I think I can get to one.
Okay.
And just now I'm gambling, right?
Yeah. And now we're
I'm
treading
fucking
water.
gambling. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Brandon, can I have an interview in 5 minutes?
yeah, go ahead and give your picks, and you can get out of here.
I have my watch at work parlay. It's over 10.5 total runs in the Mets Reds, and then over 8.5 in the Royals Brewers.
Yep.
And I also have the Padres, the AAA Yankees, and the Red Sox.
I like that you bet on the Yankees, even though they have a AAA team.
Greg Allen deserves $400 million.
The savior.
That guy.
The savior.
I would hump his leg if he came in. I would do it.
You understand that at some point Greg Allen will probably come in this
I'd
office.
kiss him on the mouth.
I've already.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So you've got to hump him. You got to kiss him.
Oh,
yeah, he's turned this around. These fucking overpaid morons or 500. Greg Allen, who just comes in, is fucking turned this whole team around. This is the Yankees.
Fair enough.
It's called heart, Brandon.
Heart.
Okay.
Brandon.
All right.
It matters
Fucking
in
get
sports.
with it, Brandon.
Sorry, I just
I want to make you jerk off Greg Allen, too.
I'm not jerking off Greg Allen.
All right, you might have to.
He's probably got a hammer.
Oh my.
Greg Allen.
It took 50 minutes. It took 50 minutes, to be honest. I mean,
they were behaved for 90% of the show.
and Marty just left. Okay.
Yeah, he said he had an interview.
He
to go
did,
to.
but when I turned to you, he was still there, and then he was gone. Is it basketball or baseball? Basketball. Okay. All right. So Rico set that up. He's got to go. He doesn't want to be late for Rico. Big Ev, why don't you go left or right today? Give it to me.
Ev's in first.
You're also in first.
Yeah.
So
That's the quiet thing that no one's talked about. I've been positive 3 months in a row.
why should we be talking about you, Big
You
Ev?
should, because I'm a fucking good gambler for the first time in a long time.
That's great.
And it's been sustained for quite some time. I need a belt.
We'll get you a belt.
I want a belt.
We'll get you a belt.
Ooh, Brandon, 6 and 11.
Just relax. I invited you on the show.
Yeah, she hit you with the oof.
She did. Ooh.
But Brandon's college football, though. He'll show you that. He's good at that. I'll give
Yeah,
him
we
credit.
talked about how he had a monster college football last year, and I got obliterated. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to see a flip side this year because I'm not having 2 bad college football years back to back.
I'm the best college football gambler in the world. I am the worst pro football gambler in the world.
Well, I feel like we still need to have some sort of something then where we
We're
decide
going to.
maybe 5 college football picks a week.
I would say college football is also my best as well.
Yeah.
I would say.
Ooh.
Although I've had
I'm better
Well, this whole group right here is college football first. Yeah.
I've had a great baseball year though. I'm up quite a bit on baseball.
All right, go ahead, Big F.
All right, I got the Mets Reds over 10.5. It actually might have started already. I got the Rockies money line. Listen, we joked about it before. It is a bounce back. They are great at home. It's just a fact. They're great at home.
Didn't you guys bet
Give
on
me
them
the
yesterday?
Rockies.
Or not you, but Marty bet
I
on them
did
yesterday.
yesterday.
Okay, all right.
Since I'm picking my spots, Brandon.
All right.
It's sharp game.
I noticed you haven't bet on the Yankees today. Good for you.
I did yesterday. They won.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm picking my spots. It's
Very
working.
good. Very good.
I am on the Red Sox plus 165. I just think it's a crazy line for them. Great lineup. And I got the Cardinals money line at minus 120. Tough collapse yesterday, but let's see what happens today. I feel good about it.
All right, there's a comment. Noah Lieberman says, no calls 2 days in a row. What's the point? That's a fair criticism. I lobbied to get calls. I wanted calls. We got calls. We have Kelly here. I
I was going to say, blame it on me.
I want to make sure we got that story told because I don't know how. Is this your only day here? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I was here yesterday. I'm flying back to Vegas today, but I'll be back. I'll be back hanging out in the New York office.
Whenever you're here, you have an open invitation to come talk gambling and bullshit with us.
That sounds amazing.
Which now I've got so many open invitations out there. I'm going to get more chairs. But it's great to have you here, and it's great whenever you want to be here, you be here. Okay, so I will go next. I got Brewers Royals under 9. I got Phillies money line to beat the Yankees. I got Cubs money line to beat the Cardinals. I gave already Oklahoma plus 650 to win the national title. Georgia Tech over 5, and then Tennessee under 6. I also had, if you don't like this, fine. OU is only minus 155 to win the Big 12. They won
and that should scare the fuck out of you. And
they've won it 6 years in a row.
I understand.
They won it 6 years in a row.
But the Big 12, oh my God, the Big 12
Who else is gonna? Who else? 2 teams can win the Big 12 this year.
You probably think the other one's Texas.
No, I think the other one's Iowa State. I don't think Texas can win.
Okay, just making sure.
I like Texas under their win total. I think everybody's just assuming. Everybody always assumes the next Texas quarterback is good because he had a good.
It's the bowl game.
Casey Thompson had 1 good half.
And Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson will be good.
Texas has serious issues, and they need to come to Jesus moment because their expectation level in Austin every single year is national championship or bust.
It's dangerous.
And all they're going to keep doing is firing coach after coach
and
after
going
coach.
to the next guy.
And guess what? You need time. I don't care who you bring in. They could bring in Nick Saban, and he's going to need time in Austin to develop that program.
Yeah, Saban lost to UL Monroe his first year. So yeah, you're exactly right. Texas, but people put them up there. I think they're the third best odds.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
And
TCU's
they shouldn't be.
But they shouldn't be.
Oklahoma State are behind.
They should probably be 4th or 5th.
I think Oklahoma State could be better, and
I think
TCU
Oklahoma
could be
State
better.
is going to be a sneaky one, and that is who my little pick to win the Big 12 is going to be.
Well, they host Bedlam at the end of the year. They have a veteran quarterback, Spencer Sanders, who has like a post-hype guy. Like he was huge as a freshman.
Had some injuries too.
Went backwards, and now I think Spencer Sanders is laying there in the weeds. So I love that one. Do you have picks, or if you want to get picks, you don't?
I have no picks, and that's just because I don't handicap baseball, so the picks that I get for baseball are not my own. So I don't really want to like hijack some of these picks. I will say this: the only season win total that I did go ahead and bet was the Cleveland Browns under.
Really?
What number did you get?
10.5.
Yeah, that's high.
Oh shit, Ben.
I'll fly through it. I'm adding the Astros by 1.5 over Cleveland. I got the Rockies at home. I got the Detroit Tigers who are obliterating the Rangers, and I took the Blue Jays laying the 1.5 3. And also under 9 Florida.
Kelly, welcome to Barstool.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. You were awesome. Always a pleasure to have you. That's the show. I will work on the colors tomorrow. Rico will be back, so I don't want to hear him talk. Pick Central is over. Yak is up next.